Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to be taking a closer look at Thoma, the new 4-star character in Genshin Impact. Today I will be showcasing his damage potential and his supportive potential if you were to build him as a damage dealer or supportive character. First I'm going to describe Thoma's skill set and role, then I'm going to show the type of build I will be using on him in this showcase, and at the end of the showcase I will be giving some of my thoughts and tips that I learned about Thoma that could be potentially helpful to you if you were to build and use Thoma. Now with the introduction out of the way, let's get right into it. So starting off, Thoma is a 4-star polearm pyro user, where his main use is to provide you with a shield while also dealing some pyro damage. First let me describe his skill set. His first skill, his auto and his charge attack, he deals 4 consecutive shots, and a charge attack, pretty simple. His second skill, his E, called Blazing Blessing, is where he does a flying kick that deals AoE pyro damage while also cleansing himself with pyro, and applying a pyro shield called a Blazing Barrier, which is the main use and selling point of Thoma. The use of Blazing Barrier is that the shield has a damage absorption that scales off his max HP, and every time you stack it or refresh it between his E and his Q, the remaining damage absorption of the existing Blazing Barrier will stack. His Q, called Crimson Oyoroi, is where Thoma does a spin with his polearm, dealing AoE pyro damage, and activating the effect called Scorching Oyoroi, where with this effect, where any time an active character deals a normal attack, it will trigger a fire rate collapse, which makes you shoot a wave of AoE pyro damage towards the enemy, and summoning a Blazing Barrier. And this is the most important part to know about his shield. The only way you can refresh the shield is by activating Fiery Collapse, which summons a Blazing Barrier, and you can only trigger this every 1 second. The cooldown of his Q has a 20-second cooldown with an energy cost of 80, which is very costly. His first passive, which is a big one, is that when your active character obtains or refreshes a Blazing Barrier, the character's shield strength will increase by 5% for 6 seconds, and it has a max of 5 stacks. His second passive, called Flaming Assault, is where damage dealt by his Q, Fury Collapse, is increased by 2.2% of Thoma's max HP, and his third passive, when you fish successfully in Inazuma, Thoma grants you a 20% chance of scoring a double catch. After looking at the skill set, let's look at the builds I will be testing Thoma in this showcase. Starting off with weapons, for his damage showcase I will be using him with Staff of Homa, and for his supportive showcase I will be using him with the Favonius Lance. For builds for damage, I will be using 4-piece emblem. These are the stats of every individual piece. Here are my overall stats for my damage build. And for his supportive build, I will be using 4-piece noblesse. Here are the stats of every individual piece. And for this build, I will be using triple health, meaning I will be using HP Sands, an HP Goblet, and an HP Circlet to get the most use out of his shield. Here are the overall stats of my support build. And in this showcase I will be showcasing him as C4 and at double crown, with his E at level 13 and his Q at level 10 with his auto as level 9. And with everything out of the way, I hope you guys enjoyed this showcase.
Don't get too close. Quiver. Punishment. I got you covered. this out. Fire it up. Glory to the shoulder. Fire it up. Support fire. Ruin snow. Yeah. Nice. Embrace the ice. Check this out. Judgment. Quiver. My apologies. Kami Satoran. Select. Check this out. Got you covered. Shimmer. Yeah. Storm the front. Ruin snow. You can't run. Strike. Here's backup. Fire it up. Sakura swirl. You can't run. Punishment. Here's backup. Brace yourself. This is gonna hurt. Support fire. Come on. Shouldn't let your guard down. I got you covered. Don't get too close. Brace yourself. This is gonna hurt.
Alright, that is it for this showcase. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Now I will share some of my thoughts and opinions about Thoma that I found out when testing with him. I think overall he's a solid character if you build him a certain way. I think trying to build him as a damage dealer is very costly and not overall satisfying. But if you do try to build him as a damage dealer, 4-piece emblem does work, but overall I think the best way to build Thoma is if you build him as a supportive role. So for supportive role, I highly recommend you use Vivonius Lance. If you don't have Vivonius Lance, a good alternative is to use him with Prototype Star Glitter, which does give him 50% more energy than you get with Vivonius Lance. But with Vivonius Lance, it does have a better passive at regenerating energy for not only Thoma, but for your other party members as well. I do not recommend using him with the catch because I think the catch is mainly used for burst damage dealers, where if you're building him as a supportive role, you're not really prioritizing his burst damage. So using Vivonius Lance or using Star Glitter is good choices. For support, you can build him with 4-piece Noblesse to make him an attack buffer every time you use his Q. You can also give him a mix of 2-piece sets like Tenacity and Emblem, in case you do want more HP or you are missing on some ER. If you do plan on building him as a damage dealer, he does have multiple choices. For me, I do use Staff of Thoma because it does give a lot of crit damage and a high base attack, with the passive working great with Thoma because it does increase his HP by 20% at R1. And for damage builds, I do recommend 4-piece Emblem just to get some damage on his burst. Another thing about Thoma that kinda holds him back from being an overall better support is his internal cooldown, which is the cooldown to be able to apply his element to create reactions. Thoma only applies Pyro every 2 or so waves of his burst, which could cause him to mess up his reactions and causing another character to cause reactions, like mixing up Thoma's burst with Rosaria's burst and making Rosaria being the one to melt instead of Thoma. But overall, I do think Thoma is very useful as a supportive role in trying to get the most use out of his shield. For me, I do love Thoma. I did build him as damage dealer, but for other people, if you do try to build him as damage dealer, he may not be all that surprising and may not even be worth it. So I don't recommend building him as a damage dealer, but as a support that can provide you with a strong enough shield as Zhongli if built correctly. So for short, I don't think Thoma is a great damage dealer. I think he's a solid support, and that's really all he is. I don't think he's bad, I just think he's solid. But that's everything I have to say about Thoma. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed it, please consider giving it a like and consider subscribing for more content in the future. You can also check me out at twitch.tv/xprogram. The link will be in the description. What do you think of him as a damage dealer, and what do you think of him as a supportive character? Let me know in the comments below, and until next time, I hope you have a wonderful day.